Ever wondered what would happen if your home's security system had a loophole that burglars could exploit? It's a chilling thought, isn't it? But that's the reality with any system, even those beyond our homes. Just like a home, any system, especially computer systems, can have vulnerabilities, or as we call them in the tech world, loopholes. These loopholes can be exploited by cybercriminals, much like how burglars could take advantage of a faulty lock or an open window. Imagine your computer system as a fortress, surrounded by a moat and high walls. But what if there's a secret tunnel or a weak spot in the wall? That's a vulnerability. And just like you wouldn't want a burglar finding that weak spot in your home, you wouldn't want a hacker discovering that vulnerability in your computer system. Now imagine if there was a way to identify these vulnerabilities and fix them before they can be exploited. That's where vulnerability analysis comes in. But what exactly is vulnerability analysis? Let's dive into this intriguing topic. Imagine vulnerability analysis as a knight in shining armor, always on guard to protect the kingdom from potential threats. Here, the kingdom represents your systems and data, and the threats are the malicious attacks that can compromise them. Vulnerability analysis, in the realm of cybersecurity, is a systematic process of identifying, classifying, remediating, and mitigating vulnerabilities. It's like a detective, meticulously inspecting every nook and cranny to find clues that may lead to potential weaknesses. The first step is identification. Just like a detective would scour a crime scene for evidence, vulnerability analysis involves examining your systems to uncover any potential weaknesses. This could be anything from outdated software to weak passwords to misconfigured networks. Next, we move to classification. Once vulnerabilities are identified, they are classified based on their severity and potential impact. This is like a detective prioritizing their leads based on how likely they are to solve the case. Classifying vulnerabilities helps organizations understand which issues need immediate attention and which can be addressed later. After classification comes remediation. This is where the knight charges in, sword in hand, to vanquish the threat. In the context of vulnerability analysis, remediation involves fixing the identified vulnerabilities. This could involve patching up software, strengthening security protocols, or changing system configurations. Finally, we have mitigation. Even after a vulnerability has been addressed, there's always a chance that it could resurface. Mitigation is about putting measures in place to minimize the risk of the same vulnerability reappearing. It's like fortifying the castle walls to ensure the kingdom remains safe. With a proper vulnerability analysis, organizations can protect their systems and data from potential threats. It's a proactive strategy, a shield against the ever-looming specter of cyber attacks. It's not just about reacting to threats, but anticipating and preventing them, and that's the magic of vulnerability analysis. Let's take a look at a real-life example, the Heartbleed Bug. This was no tiny insect, but a serious vulnerability that crawled its way into the popular OpenSSL cryptographic software library. OpenSSL, a software widely used to encrypt communications, was instead exposing sensitive data to those who knew where to look. The Heartbleed Bug was a classic example of a buffer overread. For those who aren't tech-savvy, think of it like this. It's like having a secret box where you keep your private stuff. Usually, only you can peek inside. But imagine if someone could not only peek inside, but also see a little more than they should. That's essentially what happened with the Heartbleed Bug. The bug was discovered by researchers from Codenomicon and Google Security. They found that by sending a carefully crafted packet of data to a server running OpenSSL, they could trick the server into revealing data from its memory. Data that could include usernames, passwords, and even the keys used to encrypt communications. Once identified, the bug was classified as a high-severity vulnerability. The International Vulnerability Database, CVE, assigned it the identifier CVE 2014-0160, and the race was on to fix it. The steps taken for its remediation and mitigation were swift and multifaceted. A patched version of OpenSSL was released just days after the vulnerability was discovered. Meanwhile, administrators of affected servers were advised to update their software, revoke old encryption keys, and issue new ones. But the story doesn't end there. Even after the bug was squashed, its effects lingered. Many servers remained vulnerable, either because administrators were unaware of the problem, or because they didn't take the necessary steps to fix it. The Heartbleed Bug serves as a stark reminder that identifying a vulnerability is only half the battle. It's just as important to ensure that the discovery leads to action. The Heartbleed Bug case is a perfect example of how devastating unaddressed vulnerabilities can be, and the crucial role of vulnerability analysis in preventing such incidents. So, Why should we care about vulnerability analysis? Well, the answer is simple yet profound. Vulnerability analysis serves as the watchful guardian of our systems and data. It's the flashlight in the dark, revealing potential weaknesses before they become gaping holes. It's about anticipation, prevention, and protection. By identifying potential weak spots, vulnerability analysis allows organizations to patch them up, preventing security breaches that could otherwise wreak havoc. And the implications? They're enormous. Think about it. A security breach could lead to the loss of sensitive data, financial losses, and a tarnished reputation. It could mean countless hours spent in recovery and damage control. But with vulnerability analysis, organizations can save time, money, and their reputation by staying one step ahead of the game. In a world that's increasingly reliant on digital systems, vulnerability analysis is no longer optional. It's a necessity. In the past few minutes, we've delved into the world of vulnerability analysis. We've explored the intrigue of this field, unpacking the concept and process. Vulnerability analysis, as we've seen, is an essential tool in our digital world, helping us identify potential threats and weaknesses in our systems before they're exploited. We took a closer look at the Heartbleed Bug, a real-world case study that highlighted the critical role of vulnerability analysis. This infamous bug, which left users' sensitive information exposed, served as a stark reminder of what's at stake when vulnerabilities go unnoticed. We've also emphasized the importance and implications of vulnerability analysis. It's not just about finding and fixing weaknesses. It's about understanding the potential impact of these vulnerabilities and taking preventive measures to ensure our systems are secure. Remember, in the realm of system security, it's always better to be proactive than reactive. Stay safe, stay secure.